Fed Talk at the PILG. This is Fed Talk at the PILG, a friendly conversation on anything and everything federalism, with our host, Attorney Gwendolyn Pimentel Gana. This podcast is brought to you by Pimentel Institute for Leadership and Governance and Hans Seidel Foundation, Philippines.
Good day, dear friends. Welcome to Fed Talk series of PILG. I'm Gwen Pimentel Gana, and I'd like to say before the end of the year, a Merry Christmas to everyone. Today, we will have with us a free discussion with some of our friends. We have, of course, Attorney Jay De Jaresco and my one and only love, Attorney Luigi Gana. We are here because we'd like to conclude this year's series on Fed Talk. Now, Jay, would you
Good
like to greet?
morning.
Yes,
Good
yes,
morning to
yes.
our viewers and listeners ng taga pagsubaybay ng PILG Fed Talks. Merry Christmas po.
Oo nga. Oh. Attorney Gana, what can you say?
Merry Christmas.
Okay. We will have a free flowing discussion today. And I was asking Jay earlier on if there is a future of federalism in our country. And of course, is this the still relevant discussion amidst our political controversy? So more or less, this is where our discussion today will center on. So let's start the ball rolling. Attorney Jay, what can you say about the talks on federalism amidst all these political controversies like corruption?
Yeah, sa aking paningin, what is happening in the country is really an opportunity to continue discussing rather than dissuade us from discussing federalism. Kasi what is happening now is a symptom of a defect of a system. Di po ba? Kasi
Mm-mm.
there's corruption. So we will look for the people will look for other alternatives probably kung ano ba talaga ang meron bang mas magandang sistema. Sa ngayon nakita natin na ang corruption is parang focused in the national government. Parang na-isolated tayo dito sa mga probinsya. Ang usapin ay nasa executive department sa national. Sa Congress, parang masyado tayong malayo ang feeling ko, personal, parang wala tayong magawa as a tao kasi they are the ones discussing it. Ngayon, they're discussing the budget. Sila lang naman. Maybe if it is a federalized system, di ba pwedeng mas malapit-lapit yung mga discussion na ganyan para namang makapag-participate tayo. So I would say that, this is a chance to continue discussing other systems like federalism.
Mm-hmm. What?
You know-
Yes, Luigi.
Change in system is useless unless we have an anti-political dynasty provision, a comprehensive one. If you look at it, that where all the corruption happens, from Congress, from Zaldik, from the leadership of the Congress, from the leadership of the certain senators, all of this is connected with their control over certain regions. And they're
Mhm.
to be able to perpetuate themselves in power. If you have a anti-dynasty law, then you can make the sense of corruption less. Because all of this is, why do people go into politics? Is to protect their business interests. Our country is controlled by so many families. And the
Mhm.
reason they keep on perpetuating themselves is be able to control projects, to be able to control the funds that are given to us, the taxpayers' money. Even if we go to a federal system where we'll centralize now the power in the local government, in the different federal regions, with more reason, without an anti-dynasty bill, will there be more power given to them? Will there be more abuses? So
Mhm.
without a meaningful change, especially on the dynasty rule,
Mhm.
a shift to federalism will be fruitless.
Mhm. Okay. So, would you think that, Attorney Jay, that a change in the Constitution is an opportunity to advance federalism? If we look at example what Attorney Gana was saying, that the anti-dynasty bill would definitely promote a better governance in terms of changing our dynamics in terms of ruling our country with these families, in control of the business and even the political governance of our country.
Iba naman ang paningin ko sa political dynasty, but if there is a discussion on a possible amendment or revision of the Constitution, sa tingin ko po, one of the options should be a system of federalism kung ganun. But why would we not include that in the discussion if we talk of changes in the Constitution, like the imposing a anti-political dynasty bill or an anti-political dynasty provision? Sa tingin ko, federalism should be on the table in matters of changing the Constitution. Parang
Okay. So would you think that federalism would automatically eliminate corruption? What's your thoughts on that? I'd ask both of you.
hindi.
Hindi. Hindi. Oh.
Kasi automatically, I don't think so. It will ang tingin ko lang talaga sa federalism na parang the people would be at least closer to monitoring what is happening in government. Kasi ngayon, kung centralized ngayon, realistically, ano ba daw ang magawa ng mga tao ngayon? Nagdi-discuss sila sa budget. Nakikinig
totoo.
lang tayo. Nakikinig lang tayo. And then it gets approved. But if it is, for example, federalized, mas malakas yung federal states, baka may say tayo. Diba? Yun lang ang ano ko. Yun lang.
Ano masasabi mo dyan, Luigi?
The principles of federalism are all well and good, in terms of trying to empower the regional states. The idea of federalism is a long process. The transition will take numerous years because as it is now, not every region can survive on its own. Even if we were to divide the country into 18 regions as it is now, geographically divided per region, or even lesser, very few can survive on their own, and there is a transition that is needed to make sure that no state is left behind, no regional state. And right now, the way things are going, you have seen improvements in certain local governments under the local government code, where they try to use the empowerment based on the law that Tatay authored, the local government code. But there are so many roadblocks there, and that one of it really for me is still that we need really, I think we need also not only a change of system is important really, because as it is now, it's like beating on a dead horse. It's like we keep on continuing with the centralized government and nothing is happening, no different. During the time of Cory, what changes were made? What happened after that? We had Napoles. Did we learn our lesson? Now that we have the Discayas, are we learning anything different? 10 years from now, from what was a billion peso scandal to a trillion peso scandal, what will it be 10 years from now? Have we as a country learned? We have to change our culture. We have to change our system. And that is what is important in any new welfare proposals. It'll always be good to have a new system.
Maganda yung sinabi ni Attorney Luigi, and I will agree fully with that. Ang example ko dyan, Ma'am Gwen, is ito bang na-discover natin sa Congress na yung mga sagasa at parking ng mga funds? Can you imagine, you are a congressman in a district, hindi mo nga alam na nilagyan ka ng project.
Oo nga.
Galing sa national. You are a local congressman. You know the needs of your constituents. Hindi mo lang alam, may project pala doon na saan ba galing itong project na ito? That's why pala, na-realize namin, yung mga contractor dito sa probinsya, puro taga Manila. Diba? Bakit ba taga Manila itong mga hindi kilala? So, yun yung sinabi ni Attorney Luigi. What has changed? Yes, there's local autonomy, but right now, in reality, in our place, may mga project na hindi namin alam kung kailangan ba yan o sino nagtalagay dyan. Tapos, ang local congressman,
Even in our experience.
We'll agree nga kung maganda yung project, okay yun, okay. Okay na project yun.
Oo nga. Oo nga.
Even in our experience, where we went to Marawi and visited Ground Zero there, what was the complaint? Despite all the money that was poured into the development of that area after the siege, after the Marawi siege, yet nothing has happened. Only superficial ghost projects, white elephant projects. No, but the area has not been developed to encourage people to come in simply because everything came from the central government. The
Mhm.
tractors, everything. All the wishes of the local officials were not respected. So useless. So we really understand the need for federalism. But that is the challenge is, of course, when you look at Marawi, you also learn that it's only controlled by 4 families.
Mm.
The problem with federalism is we really need a change in our mindset. Not only a change in the system, but a change in our culture. And that's the challenge that is facing us.
Mhm. Mhm. From what nga Jay and Luigi were saying earlier on, talagang napakalaki ng changes that need to be made in terms of governance, no? And we can see the importance of actually bringing governance nearer to the people. And it is true federalism as a form of government that we can probably achieve this. Kasi after all these years, centralized tayo, di ba? And Jay, you were even saying na yung mga congressmen, hindi nila alam kung ano nandyan sa budget nila. Pero since okay na lang naman, nakasingit na dyan, edi okay na lang din sa kanila. Pero part ba sila doon sa ating masasabing mga kickback na meron, di ba? I mean, it's so obvious naman na we have already accepted this fact na merong mga 10%. Hindi nga 10% ngayon, 30 na daw o 40%. So, would you think that federalism can eliminate this kind of practice? But then, would you think that the public officials natin, when it comes to a federal form of government, would be able to be more accountable to the people when it comes to the budget process?
Or will it be the opposite? Because the power is now brought down to a local level, will more abuses occur? Because if you look at it, if I look at the other congressmen, who are the contractors? These are their family members are owners of
Mm-hmm.
companies. How many projects here in the Luzon area are given to contractors who are related to congressmen, to mayors? Ganun lang yan eh.
Oh, so ang tanong ko ngayon,
Okay.
how does federalism change the budget accountability? Paano mo ngayon on a different perspective, no? How would you be able to change accountability if the form of government is federal? What can you say about that? Oh.
The first thing there is you have to pass the anti-dynasty, a comprehensive anti-dynasty bill, just to allow for a break in the family, so that there will be there can be accountability. Because kung kanya-kanya na lang, for the next 20 years, isang pamilya lang, what do you expect? You give them more power, you give them more control, and it's the one family since Cory's time that's ruling one city.
Attorney Jay, isn't it automatic that if it is in a federal form of government, we can lessen dynasties sprouting?
How?
It does not follow.
Yeah.
Kasi po, there is a view that if you adopt a federal system, dumadami yung mga political warlords kasi the strengthen ito mga local warlords na warlordism, or the political families will be strengthened under a federal system. Di ba mayroon fear na ganun na if we're in a federal system, parang na-localize yung concentration of families ruling over a particular area, parang ganun.
Okay,
So no, does not follow.
So as pointed out by Attorney Gana, are you saying therefore that when we amend the Constitution to make it into a federal form of government, it has to be hand in hand with an amendment on the aspect of political dynasties?
It has
Hindi
to
po, hindi po
be
kasi
a comprehensive one.
hindi po kasi sa tingin ko, ma'am, the Constitution says, 'di ba, the policy is anti-political dynasty, pero gumawa kayo ng batas. 'Di ba?
Mm.
We don't need to amend the Constitution to implement anti-political dynasty kasi sabi na ng Constitution that you make a law. Ang problema lang, the Congress does not want to make the law. Parang
Mm.
hindi pumasa-pasa ang
Mm. Oo.
anti-political dynasty.
Oo. Oo. Attorney Gana, what can you say?
Yeah, the hard part with right now, there are so many bills that because allegedly BBM wants to put as one of the bills is an anti-dynasty bill. But look at Congress. A lot of the bills that are filed, there will be with vested interest. It's a watered down bill. So there's even one where so long as it's not in the same position, you can run. So you can have one in governor, one mayor, one. So what is that?
Mm.
Like,
So alam mo, given our discussion, I think we need a separate discussion on the anti-dynasty bill.
because
Oo, 'di ba? Kasi it's so difficult to really
then
what?
there is a diffusion of power.
Mhm.
Then maybe you can have accountability now. Then maybe you can have transparency already. Right now, kung kanya-kanya lang, one family since 1986 in control of one city, what? The hard part is the culture of our Filipino because we have grown up to follow this patronage system. Ingrained
Mm.
culture is patronage.
Mhm. So really, when you talk about political dynasty, it has to be ingrained again in a law, no, so that people will follow it. But anyway, going back to federalism, how does federalism, do you think, respond to public distrust in national institutions? I mean, we are talking about federalism as a form of government, and we are promoting transparency and accountability that should be stronger in a federal form of government. So how would federalism respond to public distrust in national institutions?
Well, we do not, for me, we do not dispute the notion that a federal government will make the concept of federal government will bring power closer to people, looking at the bottom-up approach to development, to making them more accountable, rather than from the national government deciding everything that happens. That is the beauty of federalism. The only thing that we have to overcome would be our culture, the idea of patronage, the idea of political dynasties, and the willingness to be able to go through a transition. But the principle itself of federalism is good for our country because we have been in a centralized government for since the 19th century, 20th century, and what good has it done for us? From we're in the 60s, we are now the laughing stock of all Asian countries.
Do you agree with that, Attorney Jay?
May naalala ako na isang professor ng federalism. Sabi niya, when he look at the Philippines, natatawa siya. The Philippines is so amusing. You are geographically an archipelago separated by islands, but you are not a federal. You are not a federal.
Oo nga.
You are geographically speaking, you are supposed to be theoretically a federal state kasi separate kayo eh. Sabi niya. You are sa geography pa lang, you're a template sana for federalism, sabi niya.
Oo nga. So talaga. Mm.
Our setup, taking away power from the central government and giving it to the people who know their constituents better would be a better option, really. As long as we can manage being able to fund to make sure that each regional state will survive on its own, just like the BARM has funding from the national government for it to be able to survive. We have to be, I think, we will grow better as a nation under a federal state. But the transition is what is important. The change in culture, the change in mindset, the idea to have more transparency and governance. These are things that have to come hand in hand with the change in a shift to federalism. Because the goal is good. The goal to have a federal state is good. But right now, there are so many roadblocks along the way. Some are even suggesting, why don't we shift to a parliamentary government instead of a presidential? So there can be more accountability. It is easier to change a prime minister than it is to impeach a president or a vice president. Diba?
Mhm.
The confidential funds given to your central government in the billions. Why does the president need confidential funds in the billions when government to work for him? Don't you
Also,
imagine that money could have gone elsewhere in a federal state? It is a national government asking from the different states for its share, not for the small regions begging from the national government.
mhm.
Simple federalism would be better for our country. But to get to that from point B to point A is another matter. That is the biggest challenge.
Sa akin, aking pananaw, it's very hard to disagree with Attorney Luigi when he says na shifting to a federal system. Napakahabang proseso yan.
Oo nga.
It entails a change of culture, a
Mm.
change of attitude, informing the people. Pero sa tingin ko, if we look back sa 1987 Constitution, which is more than 30 years ago, ang policy na natin, ang direksyon na natin, local autonomy. Nandyan na yan sa Constitution eh. So, I mean, the direction is not to go to a centralized system, but to empower
Yeah.
the local governments. Parang gano'n naman ang direksyon natin.
Mm-mm.
So, how do we move forward
Correct.
and strengthen local autonomy, or maybe look at ways to shift to a different system, parang gano'n. But
Mm.
again, mahirap. Sabi ni Attorney Luigi, mahirap talaga yung process na yan. Kasi
Mm.
fundamental ang change ng federal system eh. You change the structure of government.
Mm-mm. Oo.
The idea is to empower every LGU, to give them a bigger piece of the pie, more authority over basic services. But look at it. The national government finds creative ways to extend its tentacles to control LGUs. And that's the problem. Unlike in other countries that have gone through centuries of change, whether it be in London, in England, whether it be in the States, whether it even be in Taiwan, they have gone through numerous revolutions to change their culture. Tayo, we continue to follow what we have been doing for 3 centuries under the Spanish rule, which is to follow a policy of patronage. Yan ang mahirap sa atin. Kaya hindi tayo nagbabago ng presidential system because we want a president who will give handouts.
Na inelect natin.
Natuto pa tayo. Sinipan natin isang presidente, yung tatay niya, what? Forgive na lang tayo kasi is na nga there. Did sorry for that? Did even acknowledge that there was a mistake? Yan ang problema sa kultura natin eh.
Oh, but then, kaya nga, so minention din ni Attorney Jay kanina na marami talaga ang thrust ng ating constitution was actually to go towards devolution, di ba? To make the government closer to the people. So ibig sabihin yan na yung track natin. But how to get there is a different matter, and Luigi has been telling us na all these roadblocks and all culture, etc. But that's another, as I was saying earlier nga, it's a very big discussion when it comes to the anti-dynasty bill, no? But I think it should also come hand in hand when we change the constitution. It should be part of the change in terms of initiating a cultural change. It can also be done through the constitution, amending the constitution towards that aspect. Now,
if we are to change, we also need to educate the people. And which is what PILG is trying to do. That there are options. Nasanay lang tayo sa isang continuing system of hand-me-downs, of dole-outs. Look, even this what is this MAIF program, where you give for 0 bill, you need the endorsement of a congressman in order to be able to get medical services. What the hell is that? Why should that congressman endorsement be necessary when the obligation to provide healthcare to our citizens should be primary in the minds of the people? So we really have to take out this dole-out mentality of the Filipinos. We need education to show them that there is a better option, a better way of doing business.
Yes, of course, education is very important. No, education on a lot of aspects in terms of even cultural change. Now, I going back to federalism. How would federalism affect the national leaders' control over public funds? Because you were talking about, you said dole outs being there already as part of our system. So, how would federalism affect the national leaders' involvement in this kind of insertions in the Senate or in the sorry in the budget. So how would this change? Attorney Jay, what's your input on this?
The way I understand it, if under a federal system, the taxes will be sa states na. It is not national as what is happening now. So therefore, ang control would be in the states.
Mm-hmm.
Ang payment of taxes and then how these taxes are going to be used. Hindi na masyadong control napupunta sa national government. So that's how I see if there is a federal system. It should be that the different states should be the one to allocate kung ano yung
Mm-hmm.
kailangan locally, sila ang mag-decide parang ganun.
Oh. So in other words, yung example ng mga additional MAIC or mga itong mga programs na ginawa nila for like sa DSWD, etc., it would be the state on its own to decide if that is an important project, di ba?
Health services is part of the primary duties that are devolved into the local governments.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So if you look at it,
Supposed to be even today ganun na dapat kasi devolved na yung DSWD.
Oo
So,
nga.
but even despite the Mandanas ruling, they're still figuring out what services can be fully downloaded to the LGUs. There's still a transition committee to determine what part of the national government services can be downloaded. So it's imagine after how many years of the 87 Constitution, they're only trying to figure out now after the Mandanas ruling. The one thing here kasi in a federal government, it is the federal states collecting and only allocating a share to the central government, not the other way around.
So would federalism weaken the national government then? Maybe that's the issue now. They don't want to go into more devolution or even the concept of federalism because for them, where is the control when it comes to the national government? Would you want to give up power for these national leaders who we have elected? Yes.
Because the central government is too in love with power. But if you think about it, under federalism, each one has their own respective fields. Each one has their own respective powers, taxing powers, their own. One doesn't encroach upon the other. It has to be one based on mutual respect between the national government and the federal states. So there you're able to make the states grow because they're accountable for their own. Unlike a federal government where it decides which region will get bet margin. If you have a congressman a leader who's strong with the executive, then that province will develop only and the others will be falling behind. So palaka. But in a federal government, each one takes care of themselves. And that's what ensures that everyone will try to develop on their own.
Mm-hmm. So Attorney Jay, do you think that, given this situation that we have now, do you think that that is one of the roadblocks actually is giving up power from the national government of these officials that we have actually elected? Mahirap di ba?
It is a major roadblock kasi giving the financial resources, economic resources to the states is so difficult for the national government to accept, no? Ang understanding nila, if there's a federal system, nandun na sa states ang control, medyo control sa disbursement of funds. Whereas right now, it's the Committee on Appropriations. from looking at it, napaka-centralized yung sistema sa pag-allocate kasi it's just the Committee on Appropriations
Oo.
and the House Speaker ang
Yeah.
nag-decide kung saan ilagay yung pera.
Oo nga. Grabe 'no. So, ang hirap pala talagang baguhin ang sistema for now. But then, I think that, we can always go on discussing this issue about political dynasty or even amending the constitution in order to promote a more transparent and more accountable government by improving governance and leading towards good governance. And one of the the kind of government that we want to promote is federalism. So I think, is it still relevant to talk about federalism at this point in time? What are your thoughts on this, Attorney J?
As long as there are problems in the system right now, under a unitary system, the more there should be discussion of other systems like federalism. The fact that we are seeing a system that is defective, that is unitary, that until now control is still in the hands of a few, I think we should all the more discuss systems like federalism, whether it is realized or not. The point is, let's learn more from it. Maybe it's an alternative system that we can adopt.
Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on this, Attorney Gana?
The principles of federalism are ideal. But right now, we have bigger problems on their table that need to be addressed. Right now, it's always good to have a conversation. But saying that with federalism be a solution to the corruption that you see in these flood projects, the failures that you see in the Department of Health, in field health, the hard truth is that the people are more interested on other. While a conversation can be ongoing, the interests of the people are directed towards these major items that they feel more about. It is that for me, that's what is taking their attention. These ghost projects, the failure of the Department of Health to properly provide health services to the people, even corruption in the Department of Education. So no matter what, as far as they're concerned, no matter what system you do, kung ganun talaga if it's going to be the same thing, weather lang. It's, syempre, it is important for me. It is an important discussion to continue, but whether people will be interested in listening with what we have now, I don't know.
The political party of the president, we should be reminded, is Partido Federal.
Oo nga.
So it would be the central
Yeah.
core system of the president.
Okay. So, what is very interesting is that federalism is a form of government that can be an alternative. So, we should not close discussions on this because there are so many problems that we are experiencing already in this our centralized form of government. So, issues on corruption and then issues on political power being concentrated on the hands of a few people, only a very few segment of our society are getting richer, and not economies, not seeping, improvement in our economy does not reach our the marginalized, etc. So these are things that are really concerning. Therefore, I think we should continue discussing if there is an alternative to this kind of governance that we have now. So, before we end this podcast, I'd like to say that there is always hope in our hearts and in our minds that there can be a lot of things better for our country. So, any last words, Attorney J?
We continue with the discussion as long as there are things that need to be improved or changed. We should continue the discussion about federalism, about empowering local governments.
Mm-mm. Attorney Gana, any last words?
For it to have some traction, should focus more on how a federal government, hand in hand with anti-dynasty rule and other things, can promote better governance, more transparency, more accountability. That is what I think we should look at in trying to promote federalism. While we know the objective benefits of having a decentralized government, I think what the people want to see now is, will a change of system as compared to this unitary system be able to provide better governance, better transparency, accountability? And that is something that we have to, that the people would be interested in. There is a need to show that if we could, if will the system change, even if we, with all of this uproar, or will it be 10 years from now the same thing, weather ulit? And if that is the case, we need to understand that we need to change the system to provide better accountability, transparency, and better governance. That, I mean, so that's for me how federalism can be relevant. I mean, not in in its objective sense, we understand it, but for us to understand that our deeper problem now is how to change, how to remove this culture of patronage, how to remove this culture of impunity and corruption. It's about time that we think of changing the system, because we need to, it's not working. And from one corruption to the other, we can expect another one 10 years from now. Difference. So we need
Yeah.
to do something.
Yes, Attorney Jay?
Let's continue with our discussion. I would really, as long as there is something wrong in a system, we cannot just accept. Hindi talaga natin ma-accept na we will promote what is happening now, where power is concentrated in the hands of a few, even up to this day.
Mhm.
Hindi natin matanggap dapat 'yun. I mean, it should create in our people a trust to ano ba talaga, meron bang iba pang paraan na maibsan man lamang yung mga korapsyon na nangyayari sa ating bayan?
Mm. So tignan mo, because of these things that actually we have been discussing, there is really a need for us to continue discussing federalism, and if it is a good alternative to the present kind of government that we have. So talaga naman, with this, at the end of the year na, we can still continue next year discussing this, and I think it should be at the top of our minds. As we said, as Attorney Jay and Attorney Luigi were saying, there is hope. There is a chance to change what we have now existing as a form of government. Kasi hindi naman to cast in stone. It is up to us as the people to decide what our future will be. So with that, we'd like to thank again Attorney Jay De Jaresco and Attorney Luigi Gana for being with us today. Thank you everyone for being with us at Fed Talk of PILG. I'd like to thank also our partner, Hans Seidel Foundation, for supporting us on this endeavor. Again, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to everyone. See you next year.
Good governance does not depend on the governors alone, but also on the governor.